guys, welcome to CEO and Her. I am Salome Lackey, and you are joining us. Our guest for today is Jorden Alhashim. Is that correct?
Yes, that's it.
CEO of Slay Stilettos. Is that right?
Slay
And
In
we have
Stilettos.
watched so many other videos, and I can definitely say, there's so many dancers out there and instructors out there, but you really do slay. So the first thing we want to know, just kind of like inform our audience, like, how did you get started? Because doing the research, I've realized that there was a deeper meaning behind you starting this business. So tell us a little bit about that.
Where Slay In Stilettos was founded and born from was my dark night of the soul moment. So I didn't know my biological father growing up, and we were introduced to each other when I was around 13 years old. And it was a unique way that we rejoined and reconnected because I was raised actually by my stepfather, who I didn't know was my stepfather at the time, of course. I thought he was my biological dad. And when I was 13 years old, he ended up committing suicide. So I lost one father there.
Right.
But the beauty in it is that I was reconnected with my biological dad.
Right.
And so we built our connection over a span of about 13 years while I was finishing school, primary school, and then going into college. So I knew him all the way up until then. And when I was 21 years old was the first opportunity for us to really connect for the first time, because he lived in another country. So he and I connected. I ended up flying out to Dublin, where he lives, and we spent some time together. I absolutely loved our time. It was a month time frame. After the month, I asked him if I could stay with him longer. He said, absolutely. And through the reconnection, which was beautiful, and being that was the first opportunity that we spent any extended amount of period of time together. It just was a beautiful healing time. And so I decided to move out there. I handled all my affairs here in the States, packed up all of my stuff, left and moved to Dublin, Ireland. And 3 days later, my dad ended up having a heart attack, my biological dad. So now I've lost two fathers, right? And a father in a woman's life is so instrumental. And so many of us have a relationship with our dad and some don't. It's unfortunate, but through that experience, now having lost my biological dad in a foreign country, I don't know anyone. I mean, I was really alone for the first time at 22 years old. And the only thing that brought me joy was dance. So I was really able to reconnect with dance at that point, and move through my grief, move through some of those locked up feelings. And so I say dark night of the soul because, again, I was alone. I'm his only child, and I'm handling all of his affairs in a foreign country by myself. So I don't know if any other women out there have experienced something similar, where you are alone or you feel trapped within your body, even maybe have body image issues, or you're working through some kind of pain. And I know for myself, movement is what moves that energy and flows that energy. So that's really what reconnected me. And that's how Slay In Stilettos was born, the beginning stages of it. And of course, it's developed over the years, but that's where it was founded and started.
And that is such a powerful story. And I definitely, I knew all the information, but I wanted our audience to hear it from you, because I feel like sometimes people really don't know the multitude of power that is in dance and why it is so important. And I feel like even in like schools, because like a long time ago, they had music in schools, they had dance in schools. And I felt like a lot of the stresses that they have in schools, they worked out better, the bullying, all that stuff, because people were able to find themselves in music, in dance, et cetera. And just, it's a moment of therapy for some people. And you know, a lot of people don't realize that, but the story that you have behind this movement is so powerful. And I'm just like, you know, I could do a summary of it, but it's so much better coming from your mouth. So thank you so much for sharing that with our audience, and just even being in this journey and helping other people, like, deep dive into their soul issues, or bringing something out in them that they don't even realize that they have. What has been the hardest part of this journey for you so far?
The hardest part is entrepreneurship. So a lot of times as us entrepreneurs or starting up entrepreneurs, you have that. I mean, everyone at their core wants to be their own boss, right? They don't want anyone with their thumb on their head or anything like that. So it's just the bumps and bruises of going through entrepreneurship, your confidence and working that, right? And really starting a business from scratch. Would be the hardest thing, but my passion definitely lies in helping women transform whatever that is, transmute and transform whatever issues that they're going through. And that's through movement, through empowerment, through making themselves feel authentically who they are and being okay with that and saying, you know, whatever to anyone else's opinions or anything, and just having that moment to shine. And facilitating that growth is really what I'm passionate about. So even though the bumps and bruises of entrepreneurship and kind of the hardships with that come, the beauty of it is seeing the passion, seeing the transformation in people, and women specifically that I work with.
Love it. And your business came out of basically the relationship and the transition of your parents. And now you are expecting as well. Is that right?
Yes.
Congratulations on that. How are you balancing that whole life entrepreneurship?
Yes. Oh, girl. and being that I'm a dancer, right? And so facilitating the actual movement, plus pandemic and social distancing and all of these other things, right? So you have to be adaptable. And this is really in any business, not just my own, but any business, you have to be adaptable. So what I've been working on in my passion project recently is a virtual course so that women can join, women can still tap in, but it not be in person, right? Break through the geographical barriers, not just working with the individuals here in my local area, and expanding out. So I'm working on a virtual course, launching the website and everything so that I'm able to access more women in that way. Being pregnant now and becoming a mother myself, even more, it's really deepened my work. And knowing that this is something that's important. And women, we go through body changes, like significant body changes, right? When you're pregnant, you don't notice yourself anymore. And you feel so out of touch with who you really are that even I've had to literally work on it myself and move even more and get used to how I'm moving, and specifically in the area of self-love and practicing that daily, making it intentional. Because it's so easy to get so wrapped up in your child, and I'm having a daughter. So even my own personal, body image and, self-esteem work, I have to work on it in myself because she is going to be walking in the same footsteps, right?
Exactly.
So for me, it's just been working on it myself and then coming up with a way to bring it to so many more women in a virtual platform.
Got it. Perfect. And then we did see that you were working on some rebranding too, right? Futuristically, what are we looking at?
Yeah. So for futuristically, I definitely want to be doing more speaking. As much as I love working in the dance capacity, it does kind of hinder you in the sense of studio classes and it just being about choreography. And I want this to be even more than that. I want it to be a movement, kind of like what you got from it, that it's a movement, that it's a community and bringing together women from all over the place. Because even though there are supportive platforms, we have our friend groups, we have, different mommy groups, and we have different things, but somewhere where you can plug in and feel that sense of community, that sense of like, we got you, and practical ways to transform and transmute on your own, because not everybody is a dancer, right? Not everybody connects with that. So I want to be able to sort of shift in that way and make it more about community and self-love practices and different ways to really own all of who you are, even if it's, through movement, but not necessarily a choreographed piece.
Right. And so you're having a daughter yourself. So let's just say someone younger came up to you and said, Jorden, how do I become a dance instructor, or where do I find myself in this industry? What kind of advice would you give them?
To be 100% who you are, baby girl.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, don't try to compare yourself to the flower next to you, right? Bloom in who you are. Own that, because the right person in the dance industry is very cutthroat. The dance industry is similar to modeling industry. The people that are booking you have a vision for what they're looking for. So it's not about you necessarily, right? And whether you fit their mold, but you just being yourself, you owning stage, you just lighting up and being exactly who you are constantly is really what's going to stand out. So to that little girl, that's exactly what I would say. There's nothing wrong with you. You have no flaws, and you just own and be exactly who you are.
I love it. And so how can people get in touch with you? Join the movement, obviously. Let our fans know.
Absolutely. So if you can go to slayinstilettos.com, and in the right-hand corner, there's a way to become a member. The membership is free as of right now. That might shift in the future, but join the community. Absolutely. And I call it the sisterhood, because it's Slay In Stilettos, which is shortened is sis.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah,
I love it. So I love it. That was dope. That was dope.
Yeah, it's all connected, babe. And I want to create sisters. So for instance, I had all brothers growing up. I don't know if anyone else can relate, but I craved sisterhood, and I always felt out of place when I was young. Yeah. And I think that's really where the seed was planted for me. And it's just now coming into fruition, that I can create my own sisterhood. I can create my own sisters. And so I love all women. Definitely join the group, join the membership, become a member on my site, and I'll be able to invite you and keep you connected with future projects and how this is all going to develop.
We love it. And thank you so much for joining us here today, Jorden. To everybody out there in CEO and Her, thank you guys for joining us and joining Jorden today, and joining Slay In Stilettos. We're speaking that into existence right now. And get in touch with Jorden, join the movement, and we will see you guys next time. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Oh, and I wanted to mention too, Instagram, obviously. I don't know how I forgot that. Instagram, as well as just Slay Stilettos.
Right.
So SlayStilettos. And you can follow me there as well.
Perfect. You guys, you heard it from Jorden yourself. Join Slay In Stilettos. Until next time. Thank you.